Yes, well, we right now, as we speak, live in a world that is doesn't feel safe and isn't safe because so much is happening globally, locally, politically, economically, and kind of a general sense of safety. I think that people are not really feel safe because they don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty of how things going to unfold, and doesn't really matter right now whether you're in the right or the left or whatever political association you have. I think everybody is feeling it right now, and you just kind of feel it in the air more than anything else. Um, and Unfortunately, that fear with the today's world, with so much disinformation and so much dishonesty globally. People say whatever they want. People are reactive from all around. So there's not much really what I call emotional regulation. There's not much, the water are stirring right now, and it's not calm. The ocean is not calm right now. And we had other times in our lives that felt much better. Than we had other way, other things to deal with. But right now, the external world is really not safe. It doesn't feel that we're kind of standing on solid ground. And Rob, when that happens, when we don't have a solid ground to stand on, then it stirs up a lot of the inner conflicts or inner world that might be triggered from a long time ago when we're not even aware of that. So a lot going underneath the surface while we're trying to somehow filter all the information, the misinformation, the conflicted information, the scary information. Um, we try to filter it out and we try to make sense out of it when things so many times don't make sense, in that way or another. And whoever, everybody experiences it in a different way. Everybody have their own opinions, but underneath that, the sense of well-being is kind of cracked right now. Usually we feel kind of safe in the world. We think we're going to be okay. We trust we're going to be okay. We're going outside, that we are, the birds are singing and everything is okay, even though the world itself is just being on earth is not the safest thing on earth. But on top of it, right now we're really dealing with objective situation where a lot of things are there's no rest. I guess there's no rest, and so many times when there is no rest outside, it immediately stirs the early trauma inside. So many people are experiencing anxiety. Many people, experiencing fear of what's going to happen, and how they're going to deal with, and whether they're going to be safe with work and the jobs and their children, and everything is kind of stirring up. The unfortunate is kind of we live in this day and age where everybody is attached to the social media, attached to the news, and we get a lot of conflicted, and we can't even trust what people say to us, and that's, I think, is something that everybody is experiencing. Whatever your affiliation is the common ground is that we really don't, we hold on to, and especially politically, people are holding that, and it's immediately created division. And division is actually get us to be more kind of like shutting down even more, and we just want to protect ourselves rather than reaching out and talk about how it is really to be you rather than what it is over that, like, because we're humans, so we experience the same emotions and the same feelings when we're not comfortable. So the unfortunate part is that we don't get together in those times, especially these times around, this time around, meaning with the technology that is happening, with the division that is happening, with the bots that let you to see what you want to see on the news or whatever channel. So you get more of, you basically getting more fueled up for what you feel. And there's parties or groups against you that you see like, oh my God, and we're very opinionated about it and reacting very emotionally to people who don't think the way we are. And that is unfortunate because at these times, the most important thing is to just actually stay together, and to come together and have conversations about how we are doing with all of that. Because if we went inside to how we're doing with all of it, then we will find that we have a lot in common with people that we disagree with, and that will enable us to just understand what the other person feel, even though they don't think the same as we are. So it is very unfortunate that we see more and more divisions and more fear, and that fear is fueled up by the minute, and create more and more fear and more division, unfortunately, just to basically be in a loop of fear, which is growing up. and we get constantly the fuel from the social media, from news, from all the things that we don't know even what to believe and what not, just to react more emotionally about that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it's an unfortunate situation where we don't have kind of like feel like that we have a ground to deal with. So there's a lot of helplessness and a lot of uncertainty and a lot of dysregulation, emotional dysregulation. And as humans, we need to be regulated by kindness and love, not by actually yes, by doing things that we think that makes us safe, but we need to be together and we need to stay together. And unfortunately, we're doing the opposite. So many people doing the opposite, just fueled by what they believe in against the ones that believe different than them. And that is something that I would like to ask people to just kind of like look at everybody as we are all human beings. We are experience all of us fear. We are reacting very differently to fear, and sometimes the way we react to fear is interfering with the other ones, and we become disrespectful of other people that might feel exactly the same way, just one think that the solution comes from a different place. And if we could have a little bit more conversations and empathy to all, then we'll start doing something that creates the ground underneath. Another thing that comes to mind is that in times like that, that we are not feeling safe, we try to find solutions outside. And actually, the outside, meaning outside, just to see more of what's being fed by what the media tells us, what the news tells us, what other people around us tells us about the same thing that we feel. And we kind of getting more and more into helplessness, and rather than just kind of like, okay, we kind of now need to just sit down for a second. We are together with that. We are together in it, rather than me against you. You know, because then again, underneath it, when you think about that, we just feel actually underneath it the same way.
Yeah,
Everybody doesn't feel content about that. If we can concentrate on that and just start having conversations rather than shooting opinions, because nobody really actually listens to anymore. And that is another thing that is just so difficult, is that we don't listen.